Watching this on the replay, this is a live that I do. I call it live at 9, but I haven't done it in quite some time. I've been so busy, so overwhelmed, and I have been asked to do this special live. So if you're watching this right now, and as the title says at the top, we're talking about the truth about white privilege and entrepreneurship. So as you come in, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself, say hi, let me know where you're watching from, and I want you to hit that share button. So I was asked to do this. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, the description is below. If you are watching this on Facebook, then the description is above. So this is a live that I'm doing. I'm supposed to go live every Tuesday and Thursday, but the vicissitudes of entrepreneurship is just something else. So this is a live that I'm doing. I was asked by somebody to do this live. Hey, how are you doing? Craig is in the building. Hey, Craig, how are you doing? J Mac is in the building. Peace, how are you doing? All right, Miss Edwards is in the building. Hey, Miss Edwards, how are you doing? LaShawn is watching from Decatur. How are you doing, LaShawn? In Decatur, where is greater? Patricia White is watching from Columbia. Hey, Patricia, how are you doing? Patrice Scott Chisholm is watching. Hello, joining from Macon, Georgia. How are you doing? Go ahead and do me a favor and hit that share button. I want you to share this in all of your special groups in your social media platform. Hi, this is Colette. Colette is watching. All right, that's good stuff. Watching from Mexico. Good stuff. Joy is watching from Alabama. That's good stuff. What's up, brother, from Sherrville, Tennessee? Hey, boss. How are you doing? Boss Dallas is in Tennessee. So what I want you guys to do, I'm going to do the same thing that I'm asking you to do. I want you to go ahead and share this in your social media outlets. There's a couple of social media outlets that I am a part of, a lot of different business groups that I'm a part of, and I'm going to share this. So the same thing that I'm asking you to do, I want you to do the exact same thing. I want you to share this in a couple of social media outlets. So let me go ahead and get ready to share this information here. Bear with me for 1 second. As you can hear that.
Thinking about restructuring Sundays.
Okay. Oh no, that was actually the I just did a live from that was actually from the I just got out of a live. So I do a live. The reason why I haven't been doing these public lives is because I do a private live for all of my clients that are enrolled into E.DeanCole Financial Institute, which is an online coaching program. So that was actually from that. So bear with me for one moment while I get ready to share this. Thank you so much for sharing. LaShawn has shared this. Thank you so much for sharing, LaShawn. Thank you so much, Stephen, for sharing. Stephen has joined. Hey, Stephen, how are you doing today? Boss has shared. Thank you so much for sharing. So go ahead and share this. The same thing, like I said, I'm going to do. I'm going to share this. Same thing I'm asking you guys to do. So bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to share this in a couple of my business groups, and we're going to get right into it. So today might be a bit provocative. I'm not going to lie to you to make it sound fly to you. I'm going to give it to you all the way straight. But I'm going to talk about white privilege and the journey of entrepreneurship. And so a lot has been going on with the social climate, with President Trump, with that record-breaking movie, Get Out. So there are a couple of things that are going on. So we're gonna talk about this in a couple places. So let me go ahead and get ready to share this, and we're gonna get into it. So as you are joining in, let me know where you're watching from. Say hi and introduce yourself. Thomas Sims has joined. Hey Sims, how are you doing today, my man? Go ahead and hit that share button. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm asking you to do. Share this in a couple of your social media platforms. I am doing the exact same thing. Bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to get the word out. And after we get the word out, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. All right, Craig is watching from New York, but specifically white privilege and entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about white privilege and entrepreneurship. So we're going to get right into it. So someone asked me to do this live. So bear with me for one moment while I get this out. And we're going to get right into it. Now, I'm going to be speaking facts, truth. We're going to be talking about the truth today. And it's going to ruffle some feathers. I'm going to let you know that right now off the back. It's going to ruffle some feathers, you know. So everything ain't for everybody, and it's okay. Everything is not for everyone. And so bear with me for one moment as we share this in a few places, and we'll be able to get to it. So as you are joining in, say, hey, Nikki, how are you doing? Nikki is watching from Chicago. How are you doing, Nikki? So we're talking about entrepreneurship and we're talking about white privilege. If you have ever heard the term white privilege, if you've heard that term before, you've heard someone say that, I want you to type down have heard. So if you've heard someone say if you've heard the term white privilege before, I want you to type down have heard. If you have never heard the term white privilege, I want you to type down never heard. Now, if you're watching this for the first time and someone has shared this with you, or if you're watching from YouTube and someone shared this with you and you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name is E.DeanCole, and I am the CEO of E.DeanCole Financial. We are a consulting firm, and we specialize in working capital, alternative finance, and business credit development. That's what we do. And in the course, we have an online learning institution, which stands for DCFI, which stands for E.DeanCole Financial Institution. And we teach on how you're able to build business credit that's separate from your personal credit. We also teach you how to repair and boost your own personal credit. That's what I do. That's who I am. I have over 2 decades of experience in banking and finance. All I do is deal with entrepreneurs. Get them funding, get them financing. That's all I do. I've been working in banking and finance ever since I could shave. I need to shave right now. So that being said, that's a little backdrop of who I am. If you've never seen me before, you don't know who I am. I'm just going to share this in 2 more places, and I am going to be out of your way, out the door. So bear with me for one moment, guys. I'm trying to find the places, and we're gonna get in. So like I said, if you've never seen this before, if you've never seen me live, this is an interactive. It's not like anything that you've ever seen before. So I know a lot of people do lives and they eating chicken and they laughing and talking and whatnot, but this is designed specifically to educate and empower you. So I'm going to need for you guys to interact. So make sure I'm not talking to myself. I'm not that narcissistic to where I just want to talk to myself, but I need you guys to interact with me. So I saw a couple of you guys say have not heard. So I'm going to do that temperature check again, just in a couple more places, and we will be out of the door. Bear with me for one moment. One more place, and we'll be good to go. And we're talking about white privilege and entrepreneurship. I'm a part of a conscious community, and I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it, but okay. All right, there we go. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, so let's go ahead and do a temperature check. Let's go back here. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and go back. So Jay Mack is joined. Hey Jay, how are you doing? Craig is in the building. Hey Craig. Kia is in the building. Hey Kia. LaShawn is in the building. Patrice is in the building. Colette is in the building. Hey Colette, how are you doing? George is in the building. What's up? You're watching from New Mexico. Talking 30-minute break. That's perfect. This is gonna be the best 30 minutes you done seen in a long time. Listen to me. Boss is watching from Dallas. Stephen Neal is joined. Hey Stephen. Craig is in the building. Hey Craig, and you just shared. Thank you so much for sharing, Craig. You are the man. All right, and Craig is watching from New York. All right, we have D Brown is watching from Chicago. Nikki is watching from Atlanta. All right, good stuff. Craig is in the building. Good stuff. All right, J Mac. All right, so I've asked if you've ever heard of white privilege before, and so Erica have heard of it. All right, never heard of it. Craig has never heard of it before. Lawrence has never heard of it before. Boss has never heard of it before. Jay has never heard of it before. All right, Kenda is watching. Miss Glover, how are you doing, Miss Glover? Miss Glover, if you could share this, Kenda, if you could do me a huge favor and share this in the marriage club. If you could share this for me in the marriage club, I would be extremely grateful for you if you can do that, Kenda, Miss Glover. You have, all right, so Kendra, you have heard of it before. Okay, awesome. Bank T is watching from Ohio. Thank you so much for watching. So Kendra, if you could share this for me in the marriage club, I'll be extremely grateful for you if you could do that. Now let's go another further. So you've heard of white privilege before. Most of you guys have heard of it before. Now, if you've ever heard of black privilege before, I want you to tap the thumbs up button. I think the #1 morning show right now is The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne the God, who happens to be a very vivacious radio personality, has a book that's coming out next week called Black Privilege. Opportunity comes to those who create it. So if you have heard, maybe you heard him talk about it, or you just heard someone say black privilege before, I want you to tap the thumbs up button. Like I said, I need for you guys to interact with me so that I'm not just sitting here talking and looking at myself. I want to make sure you interact. So if you could tap that thumbs up button, let me know that you have heard of it. If you have never heard of that before, I want you to tap the sad face. So if you've heard of black privilege before, I want you to tap the thumbs up button. All right, tap the thumbs up button for me 5 times. So the magic number is 5. So tap it for me 5 times. If you have never heard of it before, give me the sad face 5 times. If your thumbs up button or your sad face button is not working, give me the emojis at the bottom. Okay. All right. Great. Someone's been under a rock. Yes, Joseph Lopez. I have been busy. I've been grinding. I've been getting down and staying down, Joe. So yes, I have been grinding, Joseph. And we were just talking about that. All right. So I see a lot of thumbs up. I see a lot of sad faces and some mad faces. LaShawn has never heard of it before. So most people have never heard of the term black privilege before. So now, like the title says, the title is White Privilege and Entrepreneurship, the truth about white privilege and entrepreneurship. Now, I'm going to give it to you all the way straight. You guys know that I'm extremely unapologetic because I am a CEO and I'm a boss. I'm going to give it to you all the way straight. I have no one to answer to. My contractual agreements with the people who I represent, they go long and they go strong. So I have the unique privilege to speak truth to power unapologetically. Black privilege is this new concept that is being created. It is more of a pop cultural thing that is talking about, reverse racism. A lot of people some people were actually being sued talking about reverse racism. P. Diddy was actually just recently sued by some Caucasian gentlemen, and they cited reverse racism. They said that they were fired because they did not understand the urban channels. Okay, so if you have if you heard that before, I want you to tap the laughy face. If you've heard that story before, so yeah, P. Diddy is being sued. Basically, he's being sued because of some Caucasian gentlemen are citing reverse racism. Reverse racism is this new fad that's sprung up since President Obama's election. Basically stating that people are being marginalized against because they are Caucasian or they are the majority. All right, so I see Jay has seen that. All right, tap the laughy face. Like I said, it's very interactive. I'm gonna need you guys to interact with me. So that lawsuit happened last week. Now let's talk about truth. One of the things that bothers me about some of the African American talking heads on TV is that they try to spin for ratings and they try to spin for reaction. And what they'll try to do is they will try to justify by saying there is no such thing as white privilege. Now, the title of this is The Truth About White Privilege. Now, the reality about white privilege is that white privilege does exist. That is the reality. I am in the banking institution. I am in the banking arena. It does exist. And let me explain the reality, that the reality is that it does exist. It doesn't matter whether you believe in it, whether you like it or not. The moon is out right now. I could want the sun to be out, but the reality is the moon is out. It is what it is. Some people don't care that the moon is out. Some people don't matter. I'm going to work any way it goes. It doesn't matter. But there are a certain group of people that cannot work while the moon is out. They can only work while it's daytime. The exact same thing about white privilege. The reality is that white privilege does exist. Yes, it does. Let me break down for you the history of white privilege and how it does exist. The Civil Rights Movement ended in 1968, all right? In 1968, the Civil Rights Movement ended. Now, I'm just speaking facts. I'm just talking about the reality. 1968, the Civil Rights Movement ended. In 1961, affirmative action began. Now, as an African-American man, affirmative action was really social engineering against the African-American man. Whether you like it or not, the reality is that affirmative action was one of the best things that ever happened to an African-American woman. Okay? I'm just speaking facts. As an African-American woman, if you are watching this and you are an African-American woman, you have the unique position to be the prize of the African-American man. our weakness, as well as the most desired treasure of any other ethnicity and any other ethnos in the United States of America. It is true. All of my African American women that are watching this, I want you to tap the heart button. I want to share. I want you guys to share and show the love. I want you to tap that heart button right now. Tap the heart button for me 5 times. There is no other group of people that is the most feared, the most admired, the most copied, and the most talked about than the African American woman. In 1961, when affirmative action started as a way to help break up the monotony of a lot of the white privilege that was talked about. So I see a lot of the thumbs up. So ladies, all the ladies that are watching, I want you to tap the heart button. There we go. They're the hearts. Let me see the hearts fly by. Yes. I want to see the hearts fly by. Yes. Let me see those hearts fly by. So tap that heart button, because African American women have been, like I said, the black man's weakness, because we would sacrifice for our women, and it has been the Caucasian and any other man's prize. That's, if you don't believe me, we can go all the way back to when King David met Makeda, which was the Queen of Sheba, and he ended up marrying her. I'm not going to go way back like that. I'm not going to go all the way back to a lot of the ancient history. I'm not going to do all of that. But I said all of that to say that in 1961, that's when the affirmative action happened. And the African American woman has a lot of things that were handed out to them. This is not any type of excuse. This is just facts. You have to know your facts. If you don't know your facts, you have no opportunity to change your future. So I'm just speaking facts so you can understand and you can be woke and you can be aware of what's going on. So as an African American woman, a lot of things were handed to them, like public assistance and public housing. So much so to where they would allow a woman to live rent-free with 4 and 5 different kids, but they could not allow the man to live in that public housing. So where do you think these women had these kids from if they would allow public assistance for the woman but not allow public assistance for the man? The African American man has always been public enemy number 1. It is what it is. Whether you like it or not, you cannot deny the facts. We are given no chances or no shorts. And so this is the thing that kind of bothers me about some of the talking heads I see on TV, is that they'll say things that are disingenuous, like, oh, well, Jay-Z made it out, or Rick Ross made it out, or Jordan made it out. Why do I have to be an athlete or an entertainer in order to make it out or to be successful? All right, that's thing number 1. And all things being equal, if you can say that, oh, well, such and such person made it out of the hood, or such and such person made it out, and that, if that's the case, that means that every white man needs to be a billionaire, because Bill Gates is a billionaire, Warren Buffett is a billionaire. So the majority of all the billionaires are a white man or a black woman. That's the majority. So all things being equal, that same rationale is if one person made it out, then you all should. If that's the case, then all white men need to be billionaires. But they're not. So that being said, I'm just speaking facts. Now remember, we're talking about the truth about white privilege, okay? So just going down the facts. And if you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. And so the reality of the situation is that the women's right movement came along because of the Caucasian woman's plight against the Caucasian man. How they felt like they were marginalized against. They did not feel like they were equal to their white counterparts, which was true. But in the African American community, any black man that has been raised around a black woman knows to fear and reverence the black woman. That issue that the white woman had with the white man was not the same issue that the black woman had with the black man. However, what happened was that when the civil rights movement came about and the women's right movement came about, it was twisted and it was a little disingenuous. And so what happened was that they pitted the black man against the black woman, but it was subconscious. It was not intentional. Let me explain. If you want to get this assistance, if you want to get this help, if you want to get this work program, you want to get this school program, this education program, you have to get rid of your black man and get with this white man, which is the government. Just speaking facts. All right. And what happened was when they did that, that then began to give the advantage to African American women. I was speaking to a young lady today, happens to be a client of mine, extremely successful young lady, has a couple of businesses, and she does a seminar or a conference, and she just had a conference in Dallas for women, sold and packed it out. She says, Dean, I need you to come and speak because so many of these women don't know the different programs that are available to them. It is 100% true. We're just speaking facts. So what'll happen is that if you get a successful black woman and she'll say, well, I got it, I became successful, why can't you become successful? Because the road to success for you isn't the same thing as the road to success for them. But the fact is that you can be successful. Remember, we're talking about the truth about white supremacy. So if you understand where I'm coming from and you hear me, if you understand where I'm coming from, I want you to tap the thumbs up button, okay? Tap the thumbs up button for me 5 times if you hear what I'm saying and you understand where I'm coming from. Whether you agree with it or not, but you understand where I'm coming from, tap the thumbs up button for me 5 times. If you don't agree where I'm coming from, if you say, Dean, I don't believe what you're saying, I want you to tap the sad face. Give me the sad face 5 times and comment below. Like I said, this is interactive, unlike anything that you've ever seen before. Like, I'm just going to speak facts about white privilege and entrepreneurship. So I see the hearts, I see the thumbs up going by. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for the thumbs up going by. Yes. So if you look at the demographic, and I have to look at the demographics because I'm an entrepreneur, and right now I have an online coaching program that teaches business owners, everybody in my program is an entrepreneur. I have over 225. I did the numbers today because we had to do invoices. I have 225 entrepreneurs that are in my program, and I'm teaching them how they're able to build their business credit and get funding. Out of the 225 individuals that are in my program, 75% of them are women. 75% of them are women. The number one growing demographic right now for entrepreneur is the African American woman. Not just because of the education system, not just because of ambition, but also because of a lot of the things that the African American man has to fight, they don't have to fight. Now, don't get me wrong at all, and I'm not trying to make excuses by any stretch of the imagination. You can look at me and see that I'm not a man of excuses. You understand what I'm saying? So I want you to hear me all the way through the end. So I'm talking about the truth about white privilege. The reason why this is the reality is because of the social engineering against the African American man. If they're not trying to incarcerate us, then they're trying to feminize us. If they're not trying to feminize us, then they're trying to kill us, because African American men are the most powerful being there is that walks the earth. Caucasian clients, I do apologize if this offends you, but I'm just talking the facts. The facts, okay? The African American man, we are the most powerful beings there are. We have come from a marginalized society. We have come from that's not true. We came from being chief priests and kings in Africa. That is still in our DNA. That still is in the spirit of our bones. And then we came to the United States of America, and we were oppressed, and we were marginalized, and we were beat up against. And now we have grown to become one of the most powerful forces there are. The African American culture, as far as dollars wise, we bring in the amount of money that is more than an entire nation. No, there's very, very small amount of demographic that's better than us when it comes to the African American dollar. We did that. And we did that in spite of white privilege. So the reality is that white privilege exists. Now let me break it down for you and let me talk more facts. Okay, 1961 was the beginning of affirmative action. Affirmative action mainly affected and benefited the African American female. If you look at the story, the most riveting story of the young girl going to the school and being integrated with was a forecast. Going to the school to integrate was a forecast. Miss Ruby Bridges was the forecast of how society was going to come years to come. We raised our young girls, and we just controlled the young boys. So that being said, beginning in 1961, moving forward in 1971, we're talking about entrepreneurship. In 1971, you can now begin to build business credit that's completely separate from your personal credit. Up until 1971, any African American man or female, boy or girl, no matter who they are, would go into a bank to try to get funding, and it was almost impossible to get funding. Right after 1968, when the Civil Rights Movement ended, in 1971, the United States government created the EIN, which stands for Employee Identification Number. So let me help you guys understand the gravity of this situation. And a lot of people aren't going to teach this because they don't really understand and know, but because I've been in banking and finance for over 20, oh no, not 20 years. Man, it's about to be 20 years. I started when I was 18, 36, almost 18 years, God almighty. Nevertheless, because I've been in banking and finance for almost over 2 decades, this is something that is very important, that's very key for you guys to know. The reason why you have to know this is because this is the problem of the talking heads being disingenuous about white privilege and saying that it does not exist. Because if you say that it does not exist, then you cannot effectively fix it. You cannot effectively overcome it. If you say that, oh, it does not exist, there's no way in the world that you can effectively do better. If you never go and get checked out for cancer, just because you don't know and you don't address it does not mean the cancer is not there in your body. Just because you don't see him cheating does not mean that he's not cheating on you. Just because you don't see her spending the money or sleeping with that guy does not negate the fact that she could come home with AIDS or she could come home with herpes. I said all of that to say this. Just because we don't want to acknowledge it or we don't want to see it, or we try to do a false sense of hope, instead of actually empowering people, what they do is they give us a false narrative or a false sense of hope, trying to explain it and explain it away. But that's not how you really effectively change something. I agree, hope is good, but the #1 best-selling book of all time says hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. That's the reason why a lot of us are addicted to weed like we are. That's the reason why a lot of us are addicted to promethazine and codeine like we are. That's the reason why a lot of us are addicted to sex like we are, because we self-medicate, because hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. And instead of empowering us, what they'll do is they will placate us and they will just entertain us. But this, we're going to be empowered, because this is all about education and empowering. Okay, so if you understand where I'm coming from, and if you're with me and you're ready for me to break it down, I want you to write down "with you." So type down below "with you." So I'm going to go back and see some of the comments that I missed. Like I said, this is interactive. I need you to interact with me. So I want you to say "with you." If you are with me and you're ready for me to move forward to prove my point, I want you to say "with you." There are 3 things I want to share with you about the truth about white privilege. The reality about white privilege is that it is there. It exists. The reason why it's there and the reason why it exists is because the United States of America was never created to include or ever created to benefit an African American man. It was not designed that way. We forced it to be that way because we are gods and we are powerful and we're kings and we create and we're emperors, but it was not designed that way. We made it. We did a metamorphosis to the United States of America because it wasn't designed for us, but now it revolves around us. So let's go ahead and go back. So let's see who's all with me. Let's see. I missed out on some things. Let me kind of go back. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Joe says, wow. Okay. That's good stuff. Appreciate that. All right. Antonia says, right. All right, Joseph says it does. Okay, Banky says, true talk. Thanks so much for that. All right, Jay says, is it reverse racism? Equality? Exactly. Reverse racism is equality, J Mac. That's good stuff. All right, Joel has just joined. Veronica has just joined. Hey, Veronica, how are you doing? All right, I am also live on YouTube. Good stuff. J Mac says facts. That's good stuff. It keeps freezing. That's because of your connection. Keep on watching. Okay, Joe McCall says, okay, Bridget Graham is joined. James is joined. All right. So C-Dog says, you know of some people that you need to get this to. If you need, some people need to get it to Craig, go ahead and share it with them and tag them. All right, Nikki says, well. All right, James Green says, what's up? All right, you've been saying that, Kendra. Thank you so much for sharing it. Yeah, this is the real history. Thank you so much, Kendra, for sharing it. The real history, and also if you could, like I said, share this in the Share this in the marriage club. I appreciate that. Craig says amen. I appreciate that. All right. So Lawrence is with me. Nikki is with me. Kia is with me. Jay is with me. All right. Becky is with me. All right. Patrice is with me. Awesome. Jay is with me. All right. Kia is with me. 100. All right. Shalise has just joined. So like I was saying, in 1971, since you guys are with me, you got to understand the backdrop of everything. 1971, the Internal Revenue Service created the EIN, which stands for Employee Identification Number. You cannot separate yourself, your identity, from your business up until 1971. So anybody that was an entrepreneur in the 70s, and what they'll do is they'll tell you that, oh, it's impossible to get a loan, or you can never get a loan as a black person. You can never get a loan. If you've ever heard someone say that it's impossible to get a loan as a black person, there's no way that you can get a loan as an African-American business. And if you've ever heard that before, I want you to tap the laughy face. Tap the laughy face for me 5 times. If you've ever heard that before, tap the laughy face for me 5 times. If you've never heard that before, I want you to tap the sad face for me 5 times. But so yes, there is a long line of propaganda where people say, oh, you can never get a loan as a black person, or you can never get a loan if you are a black man or a black woman. Unless you have A1 credit and you're a white man, you can never get a loan. If you've ever heard that before, okay, I see the laughy face going by. I see Jay participating. I see Curtis participating. Appreciate that, Curtis. I see Tendosi participating. Thank you, Tendosi. I see Alicia participating. Thank you, Lisa. All right, go ahead and let those laughy faces fly. Tap it for me 5 times, not just 1 time, 5 times. If your laughy face is not working, then I want you to give me 5 laughy emojis at the bottom. Okay, so I see the laughy faces flying. Okay, good stuff. Now I'm just talking about facts. The fact is that was true. Notice the case was. That was true up until 1971. When I go into the bank and I put in my social security number, they see me, E.DeanCole. When I go into the bank and I put in my EIN number, depending on which business, they're either going to see DCFI or they're going to see DeanCole Financial. They're not going to see me as a person. I'm going to share something with you that's going to really help you guys understand something. Up until 1971, you would be marginalized based on your social security number. Most people know, oh, I have a 9-digit social security number, and they don't know the purpose of the 9-digit social security number. They just think, oh, it's a social security number. But your social security number was an identification number. I can look at your social security number and I can see your sex, whether you were male or female, or I can see what part of town or what area you grew up in. If you've ever heard this before, I want you to give me the thumbs up. If you've never heard this before, I want you to tap the OMG face. So if you've heard this before, if you know what an area number is, if you know what a group number is and a serial number is, I want you to tap the thumbs up. But if you've never heard this before, I want you to tap the OMG face. If you've never heard anybody tell you that just by looking at your social security number, I can tell what area you're from, and or I can also tell your sex. Let me prove it to you. All right. And I'm going to tell you how this is used for white privilege and how we're able to use this as African-American entrepreneurs. So anybody that is on this live feed that is watching from Georgia, the first 3 of your social security number is either 252 up until 260. So if you're watching this and you were born in Georgia, your social security number either starts with 252 or 260. If that, you ain't got to say what it is, but if it's true, I want you to write down true. All right, true. All right. If you are in, let's say, New York, if you're in New York, if you were born in New York, that means that your social security number is either going to be from 050 up until 134. So either 050 or 134 is the beginning of your social security number. Anybody on here wants to know, just say the region and let me know. See, Nikki says it's true. Nikki, if you notice this, I want you to participate and say true. Let's see, some other people was watching from Dallas, from Texas. So let's see the people that's watching from Texas. So if you are from Texas, all right, the beginning of your social security number is either 449 through 467. The first three numbers is either 4, 49, or 467. If that is true for you, I want you to type down true. Arkansas. Okay, so in Arkansas or Arkansas. All right, so in Arkansas or Arkansas, your number is either 429 or 432. So the beginning of your social is either 429 or 432. All right, so let's see some other people. Let me know if I'm true about that. All right, so Kendra says, yep. All right, Jay says Las Vegas. If you were in Las Vegas, Las Vegas is a city. So if that means Nevada. Okay, so if you were in Nevada, if you're in Nevada and you were born in Nevada, the beginning of your social is 530. All right. Paul says true. All right. Kia says Michigan. So that means that you're in Detroit. So if you were in, in Michigan. If you're in Michigan, that means the beginning of your social is either 362 or 386. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because, all right, Colette says true. And you just said Arkansas. All right. You better speak the knowledge. Yes, I'm speaking the knowledge, Shahara. The reason why this is true, because let me explain why this is. Remember the war against the North against the South. You know how racist and how bigoted people can be, North against the South, the East against the West. What do you think that comes from? So what will happen is that on a profile or on someone's social security number, they will look on the profile and the first three numbers will let me know if you're a Yankee or if you're a Southerner. It'll let me know depending on the states. Now hear me and hear me clearly. Where do most African Americans reside? In the Southeast. So if I am looking at a credit profile and I'm marginalizing based on, okay, well, this is from a good area, this is not a good area. So just by your social security number, you can be marginalized just on that. So if I just shared something with you that you did not know before, I want you to share this right now. If that means you're going to tag this on a friend's wall, tag their name below. If you have a private group that you're a part of, it's like a Real Talk 40s and Up club or a Real Talk 30s club, or you're part of the marriage club, or you're part of a business club, I want you to hit the share button right now. And I want you to share this with someone else. The reason why this is the case is because you were marginalized against based on your social security number. So the narrative of, oh, you like the running joke was, oh, a black woman is going to go get with a white man so that she can have A1 credit, and that's a bit of a joke, in the African American culture. But some of that is a bit truer because based on their social security number, based on their profile, it will let you know where they're from. Also, you could tell by the sex of a person whether they are male or female. Now, let me break it down a bit further. Your group number, so that's the first three numbers is your area number. Your group number determine the class of people that you were a part of. This was derived from individuals that were working in labor jobs. If they came from an area that was very heavy, dense when it comes to plants and factories and whatnot, because that was the working class area. So based on that information, what they would do is they would target and marginalize based on that area. So I said all of that to say this. So when people would say that you walk into the bank and you're instantly denied because you were black, possibly could be true. Let's break it down a little bit more. We're speaking facts, all right? 1968 was when civil rights ended. 1971 was when they created the EIN number. The Fair Credit Reporting Act did not come into existence until 1974. The reason why that came into existence, hold on, wait, I just caught myself. Let me rewind that. I want to make sure I speak truth to power. Hold on for a second. Let me rewind that. I'm proving a point now. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had 18 minutes, so let me double check that. I want to make sure I say this right now. Hold on for a second now, because I'm proving a point here. Let me double check that now. Let me double check my facts now. I don't want y'all saying I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want you to discredit me because it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I've closed 2 loans and I've had several meetings. I don't want you guys to discredit me, because I think I just reversed those 2. I'm doing this off the top of my head now. Hold on for a second. Yes, so 1970, excuse me. Yeah, so 1970. So 1970 was when 1970 was when the FCRA was created. What does the FCRA stands for? The FCRA stands for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Most people don't know this, but Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they would pay their employees bonuses to get as much slanderous information against individuals as possible. So much so that Congress passed the law, the FCRA, which stands for the Fair Credit Reporting Act, to where now Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian would not be able to gain information that would damage your character. They would pay their employees bonuses to find out if they were black or white, if they were gay or straight, if they had 3 kids out of wedlock, or if they had a family of 5. They would get as much slanderous information, and they would provide that information to make credit decisions based on that. Yes. So 1970 was when they created the Fair Credit Reporting Act. If you've ever heard that before, then I want you to tap the thumbs up button. If anyone's ever told that to you before, if you've never heard that before, I want you to tap the OMG face. If you've never heard anyone explain this to you before, tap that OMG face. If you have heard it before, I want you to tap the thumbs up button. Now, all of my clients that are enrolled into our course, I need to see some thumbs up because I've taught this to them. So up until 1970 is when they created the FCRA, which stands for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, this is the caveat. Equifax violated the FCRA as soon as it was enacted. As soon as it was enacted, they continued to violate it because the systems does not change. So the reality is this. When you are dealing with the basic systems of the credit agencies and you're dealing with the basic systems, yes, white privilege does exist. You would get a loan based on the area that you were from. You would get a loan based on of your sex, of your ethnicity, and your ethnos, if you did not build business credit the proper way. All right? That's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is that white privilege existed because the society has never included an African American man. There was a huge mass incarceration. If you have not seen the 13th Amendment documentary on Netflix, you must see it. You must see it. You must see it. And it talks about how the mass incarceration happened because after they abolished slavery, then they said if you were a warden of the state, then by you being a warden of the state, you now get your rights taken from you. And that has not changed. It is by the grace of Jehovah God himself that I am not a felon. It is by the grace of God. Because as an African American man that looks like me, that talks like me, that is as big as I am, 6'4", that's extremely unapologetic as I am, we are targeted. We are 7 times more likely to be arrested for a felony than a Caucasian individual. Facts. This isn't propaganda. This isn't conspiracy theorist. This is facts. If you look at the Census Bureau, it is facts. The African American man is 7 times more likely to be convicted of a felony than a Caucasian counterpart, because society has never really been designed for us to include us. But I'm talking about the truth about white privilege. The reality is that white privilege exists, but the truth is that it does not have to stop you. Hear me. The reality is that white privilege does exist. Yes, it has been proven time and time again. If you are part of the trucking community, there was a gentleman who had a breakdown in his truck. The Caucasian trucking community just gave him $1,100 in one day. Just gave it to him in one day. The Caucasian trucking community banded together. Let's give the guy some money, $1,100. Same trucking community. There is an African-American trucker who's trying to get a laptop that costs $500. He's been asking for like 2 months to get a laptop. Speaking facts. The reason why is because a lot of the systems, because success as an African-American is so hard. That's the reason why black on black crime is so intense and people don't understand. Oh, you're killing yourself, because only the strong survive. And because it takes so much to make something of yourself and you have no other options, then you result back to the primitive nature that you have. But anybody under the sound of my voice that I can physically touch, my job is to empower you, to let you know that yes, it does exist, but just because it does exist does not give you an excuse to be mediocre. We do not believe in mediocrity. No, you are a great, powerful person, and you can overcome if you apply yourself the proper way. All people always say, oh, there is no jobs. Oh, you can't get a job. There is no jobs. Oh, these women are getting all these jobs. Let me tell you guys something. Not only are the women getting jobs, they're also starting businesses. Thriving, beautiful, vivacious women are starting these great businesses. Stay woke. And you can do the exact same thing. When you build your business the proper way, you are now the king of your castle, truly. You create commerce. You open and close any and every way you want to open and close. The reality of the situation is that if you can't find a job, maybe it's because God is tired of you being an employee, and God wants you to do the gift that he has given you so you can be an entrepreneur. I'm just telling you how I know. Telling you how it is. Entrepreneurship is the true way of success. When you are working for someone else and you are a slave for someone else. Now let me take a step back, because there are certain people what they thrive and love and they enjoy working for somebody else. They are designed for the gifts of help. They take pride and privilege. They are designed to be a helpmeet. I get that. That's great. However, for the African American man, that is not you. You have the ability to create wealth where you are. You have the ability to create and change generations. There is greatness inside every single melanin man's skin and in his DNA and his bones, to where you can create greatness. So much so that's why we are oppressed. You never oppress someone that's not a threat to you. And that's the reason why it's very important for us to know who we are and act like who we are. I know that this is very provocative. I know that this is going to bother a lot of people and it's going to get on their nerves. It is okay. Everything isn't for everybody, and this information is not for you. This information is for that young man who knows how to buy a bale and break it down and hire employees and get distributors. Young man, the same way that you can break down a quarter key, you can also break down Sprite bottles. And you can break down real estate. You can break down apparel. You can break down cars. You can break down the trucking industry. You can break down the commercial real estate industry. You can break down the insurance industry. What am I saying? The same mentality, the same discipline, the same creativity, the same excitement, the same courage it takes to be a drug dealer, to be a pimp, to be a scammer. The same intensity that it takes to be successful in that is the same type of intensity it'll take for you to be a successful entrepreneur on the legal side of things. And so if you have the ingenuity to be able to buy low and sell high, why not do that with real estate? Why not do that with cars? Why not do that with rims? My mentor pours concrete. He just got a contract pouring concrete. Pouring concrete. He's a millionaire. Got $1 million contract doing what? Pouring concrete. I said all of that to say this, is that if you refocus the energy that you have into something that is creative, something that you can pass down to your generations, the same type of energy, the same type of tenacity, the same type of ingenuity that it takes to be successful in that game, you can rebottle it and reposition it into anything that you really want. Anything that you really desire. Look at this. Every single successful rapper nowadays, when they come up, what do? Go into what? Business, commerce. Because they use the rapping game as a tool to build a real business. What Jay-Z say? He said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. You have the ability to do the exact same thing. So people say, oh, I don't know how to do it, or it's so hard. Guess what? Learn it. Anything you don't know, you can learn. And so I wanted to do this because someone was talking about, white privilege and black privilege and does it exist? And the reality is that it does exist. But the truth is that it won't stop you. This is titled The Truth About White Privilege. Yes, the reality is that it's there, But the truth is that it won't stop you if you empower yourself and you position yourself the proper way. So I wanted to encourage you guys, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. I want you to share this on all your social media platforms. If you are wanting to know how to build business credit that's completely separate from your personal credit, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, there is a link in the description above. It's dcfionline.com/enroll. You can enroll into our coaching program. And we teach you how to build business credit that is completely separate from your personal credit, so that you're not marginalized against, so that when you do try to go up for opportunities, you have leverage so that you can position yourself to prosper. If you want to know how to fix your personal credit, if you want to know how to repair your personal credit, if you want to learn how to put yourself in a good position, you have access to our entire platform and our entire portfolio. It's available for you there. But the main purpose for me sharing this is because there was a young man who was like, Dean, it's not fair. They gave him like $1,100 in like one day, and I'm talking about the Caucasian trucker. And then they were saying how is white privilege, like, people are always talking about, white privilege doesn't exist. But yes, it does exist. But it doesn't mean it has to stop you. So I just wanted to share that with you and let you guys to know to stay encouraged and be encouraged. And that God-given talent that you have, develop that God-given talent that you have and create wealth from it. Miss Shirley has just joined. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you doing? Yes, teach. Thank you so very much, Kia. All right. Shakara says you love it. That's good stuff. All right. I'm tired of punching the 9 to 5. Yes, that's good stuff. You're on your way. That's good stuff. So I just want to encourage you guys to know that it's not as difficult as people say that it is. Yes, white privilege exists, but it doesn't have to stop you. The reality is that there is white privilege, but the truth is that it does not have to stop you. The only person stopping you from being successful is you. If you don't know how to do it, learn it. If you don't know the person, meet them. If you don't have the skill, develop it. You are a creator. You can either make changes or you can make excuses, but you cannot make both. There's a lot of things that I needed to do and still need to do. But what makes me successful isn't because I've arrived, isn't because I'm gifted, it's because I persevered. When people counted me out, I still knew that I had some stuff cooking. And you have to believe in yourself. Separate yourself from people that tear you down. If you're around somebody and you're trying to make something of yourself and they tear you down, you need to exit them out. I don't care if they share your last name. I don't care if they share your DNA. I don't care if they share the house with you. You have to separate yourself. You have to protect yourself. When you are battling negative thoughts yourself, you cannot battle someone else's negative thoughts of you. You have to protect yourself and you have to grow. A lot of people say, oh, Dean, well, how do you do it? This is how you do it. I'm about to tell you right now, this is how you do it. Protect your dream from people who feel inferior by your goals. Protect yourself. Protect your dream from people that feel inferior by your goals. Find other like-minded people to connect with other like-minded people. When you connect with other like-minded people, then you can cross-pollinate and then you can get the advantage. If you don't know them, meet them. I mean, that's one of the things I like a lot about DCFI. We have something that's called the Executive Lounge, which is an exclusive private Facebook group. Nothing but entrepreneurs. We have 225 entrepreneurs that are all building their business credit, all building their personal credit. And it's just wonderful. Like the camaraderie is great. Like Miss Shirley Linwood, who just joined, she just bought the land next to her. And the group just went crazy because successful people like to see other successful people. Broke, miserable people like to keep other broke, miserable people around them. That's just truth. It just is. So, as you develop the king in you, or the queen in you, as you develop the greatness inside of you and you achieve your goals, you have to protect what you have, keep all negativity away from you. After you protect what you have, then you have to position yourself. Link up with other like-minded people, people who can give you opportunities, people who want to see you succeed because they're succeeding, people who don't have that crab-like mentality. And then after you protect yourself, then after you position yourself, then I need you to empower yourself. Learn the the trick of the trade. Learn whatever you don't know. Learn it. Develop it. Practice it. Practice it. People say, oh, Dean, you're a natural speaker. No, I'm not a natural speaker. I make it look easy and it seems easy, and I know all of these big words, and it can be 1 o'clock in the morning and I can throw out something that sounds impressive, but it wasn't always like that. I had to develop it, and I had to practice it, and I had to learn from other people, and I had to glean from other people, and I had to pull out from other people, people who had my answer, who wasn't surrounded by my problem. I said all of that to say this, is that anything that you want to have, anything you want to do, you can do it. Yes, the truth is, well, no, yes, the reality is that white privilege exists, but the truth is that it cannot stop you. As an African-American man or African-American woman, if you protect your dreams, if you position yourself around other people and you empower yourself to achieve the knowledge and achieve the skills or achieve the traits or achieve the character that's needed to be successful, you can indeed be successful. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Tonight has been a very good night. It's been my first time going live in a long time because I've been so busy with my clients, and I've been doing the YouTube lives, and I've been just, so much has been going on. But guess what those are? Excuses. So yes, I normally go live at 9. So I won't go live at 9. I'll go live at 12 o'clock at night, because it's important that I go live and I'm there for the people that need to be there. And everything isn't for everybody. And I know that some people are going to be offended, and I know some people are going to say, oh, well, you don't know this. Listen, facts. Google it. Look it up. You cannot deny the fact. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to empower you and encourage you that yes, it might be difficult. Yes, it might be hard. Yes, we might not have the advantage, but guess what? We are built to overcome. So guess what we do? We overcome. So ladies and gentlemen, you have a good night. If you want to learn how to do what I just told you to do, and now that I've told you how to do it, let me show you how to do it. You can enroll into our online course. Teaches you how to build business credit that's completely separate from your personal credit. It teaches you how to take advantage of your own personal credit. The average person credit score boosts to 75 to 100 points. You're guaranteed $20,000 in business credit. There's a gentleman who just got approved. He's at $75,000 right now. He's 22 years old. $75,000 in business credit. I'm so proud of that young man. I don't know what to do. Another one of my clients just got approved for a truck. So proud of that young man. I don't know what to do. Tractor trailer truck. It's all on YouTube. I've been on YouTube mostly. It's all on YouTube. I got to share all of it. Man, so many stuff. Another young lady just got approved for her office space, and she was paying so much in her rent. And she does, she's a salon, and she was like, Dean, I'm paying all this money in rent. She just got approved for this beautiful space that she's going to be moving into. Somebody else just got approved for $20,000. Somebody else has got approved for $15,000. I just said Miss Shirley Linwood just bought the piece of land next to her building. You know, I got screenshots. I have so many screenshots that I should be sharing. But I said all that to say this. You can either make money or you can make excuses, but you cannot make both. You can either make changes or you can make excuses, but you cannot make both. But most importantly, I just want to leave you guys with the truth. The reality is white privilege does exist, but the truth is you are not stopped by it. So everybody who watch this, if you're even watching this on the replay, I speak a blessing over you. I declare that you come up with ideas and winning inventions. I declare that you reach people and meet people that's going to give you the advantage and not take the advantage. I declare that you're going to come across an opportunity. I declare that you're going to have a sleepless night, and that sleepless night is going to do nothing but feed you with nothing but the steps that you need to take for you to be successful. I declare success is over you. Everything you do will prosper, and that the fear will eventually subside, and your faith will run over, and it will fuel your future. You guys have a good night. Go get them. Success is waiting for you.